Okay, guys, so welcome. This is another day of leadership and belief. Every day at 12 o'clock Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. This particular call is to stretch people's imagination when it comes to leadership, when it comes to belief, creating experiences, right? Getting that grit and really just driving your results to the next level. So I want to talk about something that's very critical to the business and was very critical to your success. And a lot of times we overlook this main piece, and that's ultimately why you'll get stagnant at certain points on your journey when it comes to not having momentum. So I want to share with you guys today really the art, right? We want to talk about the art of phone work. Right, so we're going to talk about the art of phone work. Let me get another marker here. And you guys got your notes. Let's go ahead and dive into it. So as you guys know, right, this is a leadership call. So this is definitely for all of the potential leaders out there that's ready to rock and roll. But definitely for those who are already building the business, what you have to understand is that in order to keep retention in your organization, the retention is just a byproduct of relationships and results. Are you with me? In order to keep retention, see, the real work starts not when you sign somebody up. The real work starts is when they join the business, because now you are accountable, you're responsible for their success. Because remember, people don't join companies. Nobody joined IM. You joined somebody's vision for IM. So people join people. So what you got to be clear, in order to get relations, to develop relationships and to create results so that you can maintain your retention, you're going to have to learn how to PUTP. You're going to have to learn how to pick up the phone. See, network marketing, it's about people. We're in the business of building relationships. Network marketing, your network equals your net worth. So my relationships, right, equals my net worth. Why? Because the people you train today are going to represent your security tomorrow. The people I spend time with training today is going to represent these relationships that I invest in today is going to pay me long-term tomorrow. In fact, where you at right now in your life, it's a byproduct of your training. Are you with me? If you're corporate America right now, the level that you are is a byproduct of your level of training that you've been receiving. Where you at right now, currently in your training, in the business, your results are a reflection of your level of training. So you got to be clear, this training is about developing relationships that engineer results in your organization. Now, how do we do this, right? So we're talking about why we do it, how we do it, and what to do. Are you with me? So let's talk about how we do it. How do we do the phone work? How does this whole process work? So what you want to do is when you're doing the phone work, right, you're calling your team. Now, if you're a Platinum 150, that means you have 3 people on your team. Are you with me? You want to talk to 3 people every single day. You have enough people on your team that you can really lock in with and make sure they have success. Now, when you're calling people on your team, you're doing the phone work. What are we doing? What are we doing and why are we doing it? What we're doing is we're giving them understanding. Okay? If I'm a Platinum 150, I'm calling 3 people every day. And what I'm doing is I'm giving them understanding. I'm not telling them what to do. I'm not giving them instructions. Hey, do this, do that, do this. Get on this call. Launch this business, do this, do. It's not what we're doing. You're going to sound like a boss. And naturally, people don't like bosses. This is why they want to become their own boss. Are you with me? So they don't need you over their shoulder telling them what to do. Remember, we're not bosses, we're leaders. We're leaders, so we got to develop people. So when you're giving them the understanding, you're telling them what to do, how to do it, and why to do it. Now, what type of understanding are we giving them? You don't have to be a motivational speaker. You don't got to be Tony Robbins, Eric Thomas on these calls. What you got to do is just give them the basics. Because remember, if they're new students, if they're getting started, they have most of their questions is regarding basic stuff. Now, what do you have to do to give understanding? You got to have education. Because if they're new students, I got to be able to educate them. I got to be able to give them the basics, bare minimum. So I need to know my products, because at Platinum 150, you got to be clear on making money. What products do you love? Is it HFX? What session did you like to get on? Is it Matthew Thayer? So when you have that confidence and you have that education, you can pour that out in understanding when you're talking to your team. Because when I'm talking to my team, what I'm doing is I'm becoming the master asker. I'm becoming the master asker because I got to see why they're not getting results. Are you with me? So I got to ask the right questions. Because ultimately, we need them to say it out loud so they can hear themselves. Oh, yeah, well, that's pretty much right. So you know our formula. Awareness leads to education. Education leads to results. Results leads to growth. Growth leads to success. So if I'm on the phone and somebody is not having success, somebody is not clearing their trades, they're not taking profit, I have to reverse engineering because I'm asking them the questions. Why didn't you hit your goal today? How was the session for you today? So I reverse engineer. If they're not having success, it's probably because they're not growing. And they're not growing because they're not getting results. And they're not getting results because they might not be getting the education. And they're not getting, the reason why they're not getting education is because they don't have awareness. They're not plugged in. They don't get on none of the calls. They pick and choose what's valuable to them. And now their results are picking and choosing. So now I can get right to the point when I reverse engineer and say, hey, yeah, you don't even know when to log in. You don't even know what sessions to get on. Right? And then I can say, well, hey, you don't even have the basic understanding. You don't have the basic education. So here's what you need to do. Then I can point them to the 72-hour fast start. In fact, you can set up a Zoom between you and your new student. And you can hop on Zoom, share your screen, and you guys can go through the 72-hour fast start together. Okay? Walking them through the basics. Teaching them risk management. See, you don't want to leave this up to the foundation call. Right? See, you want to leverage the system, but you just don't want to depend on the system. Are you with me? See, what do I mean by that? Some people leverage the fact that they're giving out tons of money right now in the economy, PPPs and all loans. They leveraged the system and went out and killed the game. But then you got some people who depend on the system. Food stamps, all of that extra stuff. They've been milking it for years and it's really holding back their potential. So what you want to do is get good at the 72-hour quick start. So that no matter if it's 5 or 6 o'clock anywhere, you can get your students going through the process and getting them paid in their first 72 hours. Because their first 72 is going to determine a lot of the length of you guys' relationship inside of this community. So if you start them right, they can finish right. But if you start off not getting people paid, not doing the phone work, don't have no understanding of what's going on in your downline, right? You're going to lose your people. So that's going to take me to my next point. But what you have to understand is that it's your responsibility to develop these relationships through this phone work. You got to be able to tap in with your organization daily, not just one leg, but all of your legs, right? So you're not just working with your particular team, you're working with the entire team. You're building sideline relationships, upline relationships, right? Downline relationships, right? You're networking with everybody because everybody got a different value and perspective that's creating success. So now you'll be able to go into the group chat, build and foster relationships and talk to people. We got students that get together. They're like battle buddies. They trade together. They bounce ideas off each other. That comes through effectively building the phone work. Now, sometimes as a mentor, right? It may come off one-sided because maybe your mentor has several leaders. So as a mentee, I got to seek information. I got to be wanting to receive certain value and wisdom about my success. So what do I want to do as a mentee? I want to honor my mentor. I want to reach out. I want to get the wisdom. I want to pick your brain, right? I want you to talk to my team, right? I got a new prospect. I want you to get them on a call. I want to hear your flow. So you want to leverage those relationships. And it comes through the phone work. Now, depending on your calendar, you know your team. See, when you develop in the relationships, you know when people work, you know when they get off, you know when they with their kids, you know everything that they do. So now, the better you know them, the better you can serve them. So now, logically, right, if you know somebody's work schedule, if they work during the day, then you know that the nighttime is the best time for them to trade. How did I learn that? I built relationships. I listen. I understand. I got to make sure they're set up for success. We're not going to have you on an afternoon session when you at the construction site. I need to put you on a night session where your kids are asleep, you can get locked in and we can get to your bag every day. That's going to come giving them the basics, getting your calendar together, your phone work. So what you have to wake up with is two assumptions every day. Number one, nobody's doing the phone work. And then number two, nobody's making money on my team. You got to wake up and realize nobody's doing the phone work. And I'm about to talk about that next. So let me show you what that represents. Okay. Now, outside, we talked about leadership every day this week. This is the call for that. So we're not just talking about the business on these calls. Because remember, we got to develop relationships, right? So we want to know what's going on with their family. We want to know what's happening in their life. We got to show empathy, right? We got to have emotional support for the people in our family. Because remember, family stands for forget about money, I love you. Forget about money, I love you. So how many good morning texts did you send out today? Hey, I'm thinking about you today. Hey, what's on your heart today? Right? So we got to make sure we wake up thinking about other people's problems. Because leaders eat last. Okay? And we have to solve people's, and in our life, we are a reward to them. They are our assignment. They're here with you because you have something to give. So here's how it works. Now that we develop in a family, let me tell you how extensive the phone work can get. You want to understand something called taprooting. You want to understand something called taprooting. And taprooting means that I need to jump down in my organization and build relationships, get to know people, right? So watch this. Let's get some more room up here. So we're talking about taprooting. Let's just say this is T, this is me, this is D, this is Shari, and this is Dre, right? So Of course, everybody has their core leaders, right? So for our example, 200 plus people in our organization, okay? So the first thing I got to do is I got to talk to my core. We all got to be in unity, right? We all got to be in unity. We all got to understand that there's a collective. See, there's no such thing as a power leg. All of these are power legs. How you look at your legs is what you're going to see in your legs. What you seek in your legs is what you're going to see in your legs. So this is about unity. There's no leg more important to me in my organization. This is all love. This is all family. Everybody is important to me. So what you have to understand, you develop these relationships, but then as well, they got top 3 leaders. Okay? So now watch this. I'm also building relationships with my second level. Are you with me? So here, right, I'm a P600. So you went from platinum 150 with the first 3. You talk to 3 people a day. Okay? Now your organization grew to 9, and you can still talk to 9 people a day. Okay? So now watch this. If one of my top leaders fall off, but I built depth in my relationships, I built relationships right now, I tap rooted, I jumped down there, not saying that my leaders are not lit, not saying that they're not doing an amazing job, but you have to master tap rooting and developing relationships. Because no matter at what level, the people you start with is not going to be the same people you finish with. The people who got you to platinum 150 may not be the same people that get you to P600. The people that got you to P6 may not be the same people that get you to P1000. So what am I doing as a leader? I'm inside. This is my hot market right here. This is my hot market. So me, I got lists of hundreds of names. I done went through my warm market, so now I'm just forming people up, building relationships online and bringing people into business. But if I'm the leader, I need to spend time in my hot market. That means my leaders network. So when somebody comes in, I'm jumping down to develop that relationship to get in a hot market because I only got 72 hours. I only got 72 hours. Now, guess what? If somebody does not how to quick start somebody in 72 hours down there, then this leg will never get enough volume because down deep, there's not enough value down deep. See, it's not about the volume in your legs. It's about the value in your legs. Are you with me? It's not about the volume because I know where my legs are doing. I know when the leg is walking, when the leg is crawling, when the leg is running. Are you with me? So what you have to understand is that in order to keep your organization, in order to keep the momentum developing relationships, you have to jump down to new students. The best people to work with, right, is new students. Why? Because they're excited. Okay? After you've been in a while, not saying that your belief isn't there, but after you've been in a business, after you've been trading, you took some losses. And probably some of those losses went to your head, went to your heart. So if you lose fire, what you have to understand is that it's better to work with the fire than to raise the dead. It's better to work with new energy than to be talking to somebody off the edge every week. Are you with me? So you know you got to fuel the momentum. Because you know what? There might be somebody down here that's ready to go chairman, but people up here just want to be a customer. And you won't know that until you develop those relationships. So you're not just sitting around waiting. No, you're anticipating. And when you bring somebody in, you want to put them on the phone with your mentor anyway, just as a welcome call, right? New students should be getting 3 or 4 calls, welcome them to the family. New students should be getting 3 or 4 calls, literally welcome them to the family. Okay? So in your tap routing, in your phone work, there's 3 things that you got to know. There's some things that you can help control. There's some things that you can't control. And then number 3, there's some things you can influence. Okay? Number 1, with the phone work, there's some things that you can control. Number 2, there's some things you can't control. And then there's some things that you can influence. So when I'm talking to my team, and because you are the mentor, you are the leader to that specific person, you know exactly what they want, right? Because in order to serve them better, you got to know them better. So you got to know some things when they're telling you about their story. You got to be the type of leader where you can differentiate excuses and real life problems that they're dealing with. Now, if it's things like the dog ate my homework, you know, my car went out, I can't make this, I can't get on a session, oh man. But if it's things like, you know, my mom is ill, been at her bedside, my children are sick, God forbid, anything like that, you got to know how to differentiate. Because you can't let people give you excuses, especially when your credibility is on the line. Are you with me? Because you got to be a level 3 leader where you get people results. See, if we built the relationship, if you gave me permission to mentor you, well, then I have to get you results. So I got to help you control the things you can. And I can't let you come up with these excuses. So as a leader, you can't be afraid to tell people about themselves. You can't be afraid. This is real phone work. Hey, bro, listen, I think you can go a lot harder. Right? We asked for a 30-name list. You send over 7. Wait a minute. Didn't you say you're trying to walk off your job? Right? Didn't you say you don't want your wife to work no more? Didn't you say you want a 7-figure bank account? How you going to fund that? How you going to capitalize? Where's the capital? So being a leader doing the phone work is you being honest and say, hey, bro, hey, step it up. Even with me. Man, y'all should see how Shari, Demisha, Jay, they'll chew me out early in the morning. So you got to know what you can control, what they can control, what they can't control. Somebody quit the business, okay. You lost the trade, okay. You lost the trade, okay. You can't control that. You went in, right exit, follow the blueprint, as long as you use proper risk management. But then you got to know there's things that we can influence. And influence comes through understanding. So watch this. I was talking to O last night. O is a real estate developer on the team. And he already knows about residual income. So he's been killing it in his charts. I think this morning he went another 8 and 2 today, this morning. But we had a real conversation last night. He said, yeah, I want to get to the bag. I said, cool. Are you ready for your free scholarship? He said, well, break it down to me. Normally I'm not, drawn towards things that have me distracted on my goals. I said, okay, you love the education, but you want to make some money. So now I could have said as a leader, yeah, you know what? He don't need the extra residuals. He don't need to fund up and raise his capital up so he can get in his bag. He already went 8 and 2, so he's good. I could have got off the phone right there and said, you know what, you're right, though. But then there's some things I can influence. So I had to educate him. I said, hey, listen. Hey, you really want to be a 7-figure educator? Doesn't it make sense that you need to get your capital up? I said right now in Indianapolis, you learn a skill set where nobody in the market is even talking about growing money from their cell phone. Now you can generate thousands of dollars by having a conversation, and you can use that money to fund your broker's account. And we on the FaceTime, so he looking at me like, so he said, yeah, you know what? That makes sense. And then I used an analogy. Sometimes you got to compare it. So I was like, it's like real estate residual income, except that you don't got to find a buyer or seller. You ain't got to go put a contract on the house, and you can create residual income, passive income, just sharing this platform. So now he like, okay, that residual hit like the real estate residual. This just makes sense. So, before I got off the call, I said, you know what, just pray on it. Pray on it. Let me know how you feel. This morning, he texted me and Dominic. He said, man, let's get it. Where we start? I'm all in. Let's go. Perfect. So I'm not manipulating him. Listen, if you're on this call right now, nobody's manipulating you to build. All right. If you're a customer in this leadership call, maybe this for later down the road. But what you have to understand, if you want the whole plate, you're gonna have to learn certain skill sets, and you got to use your influence to make sure that your team, right, is aware of what's happening. You got to make sure your team has awareness on all of the access that we have. So now I can influence certain things. So now he's ready to build, right? So you got to be able to talk to your team in such a way where you're educating them, right? You're having fun with them. You can crack jokes with them, but you're smashing goals with them. So you got to be able to have the phone working. This is what builds the family. It's emotional support. Right now, there's so many things that a lot of our family members are going through. Losing relatives. There's a couple of people going through surgeries right now. There's a couple of people that's financially drained right now. There's a couple of people that they got some things going on in their family right now. It's a lot of strongholds. It's just life. It's just everyday life. See, life is not going to be on hold because you want to become a 7-figure trader. You can't just let life be on like, oh man, I just want to focus on my business. No, life going to show up. It's just a process. But when you work the phones, you give that emotional support. You build lifelong relationships. Because watch this, we don't build the business. We build people. People are the business. We don't have a shop. No, we're a body of Christ. We're a body, we're people. So we're one body, then we have to be one sound. So this is us doing the phone work. This is us checking in on our family, right? So now, as your organization begins to grow, now you go to P1000, you got 23 people in your organization. You got 23 people in your organization, right? Now, you can still talk to 23 people a day. How do I know? Because I do. And some days I have to rotate. So now, as you get older, the higher you go in level, you got to know how to talk to your 20%. So in this business, %20 of the people gonna do 80% of the work. In this company, 90% are customers. 90% of the people on this platform are customers, and that's great. 90%. The other 10% are builders. They brought in all the customers. Are you with me? 20% of your organization is going to do 80% of the work. Are you with me? So now as you get old, as you rank up, you got to identify who's in my 20%. Because the people who honor you the most, they require a different type of relationship. They deserve it. So I'm looking for my 20%. So if I got 23 people on my team, I probably got like 8 people that I need to be working with. Somewhere between 5 and 8 people that I need to be tapped in with. So I can talk to all the 23. Now, what am I doing? See, everybody gets love, but not everybody gets access. Everybody gets love. What's up, bro? My dog. We family. But not everybody gets access. Are you with me? Let me tell you what that represents. So if I got 8 people, if I'm a platinum 1000, there's really 8 people that's platinum 150. So them the platinum 150s I need to talk to. I need to develop them. I need to spend 80% of my time with 20%. The problem is we spend we do it the exact opposite. Are you with me? We spend 20% of our time, like you do the numbers backwards. 80% goes with your 20% instead of the other way around. So when I'm tapped into the 8, I'm making sure they know how to do the 72-hour quick start. I'm making sure they got leadership development. I'll make sure that we're pouring into them because these 8 are my 20%. They're going to go do 80% of the work. Are you with me? So make sure your line's on mute. So as you move up to Platinum 2000, right, you can just rotate the number. So throughout the day, if you're calling 20 to 30 people, so at Platinum 2000, now you got about 75 people in your organization total. So now if you're calling 30% of that a day, it's about 20-some people, right? But now you can rotate it daily. So one day, on Monday, I can talk to Demisha's leg. Make sure everybody good. Now, Demisha already talked to him, but this is just extra communication. Because sometimes somebody may say something to D and say something totally different to me. Then I can go talk to D and say, hey, D, what do you think about this leader? What's y'all plan this week? Okay, because this person said, and then we'll be able to communicate. Because when people have multiple conversations, sometimes they miss something, but they'll share it with somebody else. And we're just making sure the communication is there so that we can deliver the results. So one leg, you might talk to D's team. The second day, I might rock out all Rashari team. Then the third leg, I might work through Dre and Jay's organization. Are you with me? So I'm switching it up because I got to hear new voices. I got to make sure I'm talking to the new people, right? So I'm going to give love, but not everybody gets access. So my customers, I'm talking about customer stuff, right? A lot of times, I got to make sure they plugged in, they getting results, they hitting their trading goals. Cool. They out the way. They good. They lit. So I'm not going to spend leadership development time with people who don't even want a scholarship. People who ain't thinking about building. I'm going to get right to it and say, hey, man, you've been cooking on the charts. How you do today? And I'm going to continue to fire them up. But now what I do with them, with the customers, watch this. Leaders, with your customers, you need to make sure they know how to do a 72-hour quick start. Why? Because when I personally sponsor people, I'm going to put them under somebody that's already making money trading. Now, it's your responsibility. Now, watch this. When somebody gets placed in your organization, that becomes your responsibility. You know why? Because that's counting towards all your residual income. So guess who the phone work responsibility starts with? You. You. Are you with me? So if I put 7 people under Jay, I'm going to introduce 7 people to Jay. And now Jay is going to place them where they need to be. So watch this. So like, if I bring in Mike today, and I know I got to help all my legs. So for that day, if I'm helping Jay, I'm going to say, Jay, I have an amazing student about to get started. His name is Mike. Okay. I'll say, Jay, tell me the ID number where you need me to place him. Jay knows her organization. She knows who's about to hit Platinum 150. She knows her 20%. She knows who's working. 5 minutes later, she called me back. Yeah, bro, put him under this number, 316784. I say, cool, bing, 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 place. But now that I place him, I got to get him on the call. So whoever that person was, Jay will get them on the call, and I'll get on the call, and I'll get Mike on the call. Hey, Mike. Hey, I want to introduce you to some individuals. I'm going to edify everybody on the call. Why? Because new students got to hear other people being edified. They're working with them. Now, it's impossible for me to talk to 200 people a day. Listen, I'm getting out of this seat so you can sit in this seat. Are you with me? You can't talk to 200 people a day. It's impossible. So you got to, number one, identify your 20%. And then number two, make sure you're effective with discovering your new students in your organization. That's the key to your business. Right? You got to discover, right? You got to delegate, then you got to deploy. I got to discover who's the NPOM, a new possibility of momentum. Write this down, NPOM, new possibility of momentum. That means somebody could have came in 12 levels down, but in 3 days, they came in and went 2 and 3. Whoa. Whoa, wait a minute. Let me jump on down there. Who's this person just got 2 and 3? Cool, let me tap into this list. Hey, James, your new student went 2 and 3? Yeah, okay, perfect. Let's do a 3-way call. Let me introduce him. No problem. So I get on the call with them. I build a relation. Let me get your number. Cool. So now what do? Right, watch this. This is what I do. This is what the phone work does. All part of tap routing. Watch this. So this is T, J, D, Dre. I'm just using this as examples, okay? So let's say 3 legs, right? So with these 3 legs, somebody can be here. Right? Now, I can jump down here and work with a guy named Mike. The 3 Ds are, I got to discover, I got to find Mike, I discovered him. Then I got to delegate, for to give him some leadership development, let him do a call, start helping him develop his voice. Then I'm going to deploy him. It's time to get in the field. Okay? Now watch this. So Mike, now I jump down levels deep to work with Mike. You know what that does for everybody? It fires everybody else up. See, sometimes you got to jump all the way down and send the fire all the way back up. Are you with me? You got to jump all the way down in your legs, identify who's cooking, who's running. Now watch this. What am I doing as the leader? My personals is going to Mike. Why? Because I want to feed the fire. Boy, he turned. He get on all the calls, right? Whoever this new student is, James, Quisha, they get on all the calls. They were drawing. They making money. They teachable and coachable. I'm gonna feed that fire. I'm gonna keep that excitement going. I'm gonna drive this deep. We're gonna drive this across the world. Why? Because you want to keep that momentum. Now, other leaders above them, like, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call the leaders above them. Hey, you see what Mike doing? Mike going crazy. Man, he's fired up about this. So now they turn, now they lit, right? And you got to show your organization, right? Sometimes you got to show people, you got to be seen working with new people. You know why? Because sometimes people will take you for granted. Are you with me? It's okay. Right? Because sometimes the biggest thing about this business is sometimes pride is seeking it. And pride and ego is the biggest destroyer. So, right, so here's what it started happening, right? Because this is locker room talk. And I've seen it in large organizations I've been a part of. So this leg will catch on fire. right? People rank up, new positions hitting, and then sometimes other legs, if you're not careful, right? You know, we think some will change, or sometimes you might get an ego because you got a new rank, right? You hit a new rank, now you may not listen. You a platinum 150, and now you think you know everything. Are you with me? Or you a P600, you just smack P600, now you start doing your own thing. You don't plug into the system. Like your team don't get on no calls. Like you don't promote the team calls, you promote your calls. Are you with me? That's when ego get in. Because it's about the collective. Right? When we put out the foundation call, you don't promote that. But when you promote a personal call that you got to do, it's text messages, phone calls, everything been out. So ask yourself right now, do I promote everything the same? Like, serious question. Do I promote everything the same? If not, then there may be some hate in my heart. There may be some ego and pride and a lack of humility. So you got to make sure that how we build this community is that no matter what leg you're on, we're building all these relationships. So the people under Jay and Dre have to work with the people under D. Why? Because we all family. Right? Same thing with Shari. The people under Shari should be doing sessions with people with D. So when we do our call Sunday, when we have our call, our meet and greet Zoom, you're going to realize there's 5 people from Atlanta. And they might not be in the same leg. But who cares? We're in the same family. So now, us 5 in Atlanta, we can exchange numbers. We can now do the phone work with each other, and we can start building Atlanta together. We can start working as a family together. And now my strengths are your strengths. I'm great at cash trap. I'm great at getting in the market. Well, I'm great at building. I'm great at developing people. Well, let's get together in Atlanta and let's go ahead and build. That's how it got to be. Here in Chicago, you should be able to call 10, 20 people and say, hey, I got a question. They say, hey, I got an answer. But the communication has to start in the group chat. The best phone work is the celebration in our community. Okay? So every day you have to pick up the phone. Are some days you're going to have your days? Yes. But listen, if you don't pick up the phone one day, then you really didn't build your business that day. That means you turned your registers off. That means, listen, how can you expect to expand something you don't even pour into? Serious question. You want God to enlarge something that you don't even water the seeds. We want bigger harvests, but we don't want to sow bigger seeds. Right? So you got to do the phone work is the heart work. It's the emotional support. You don't even know that sometimes all people needed was that phone call. Guys, I'm telling you, I've been through this, man. I'm part of the reason. And I told my leaders this, y'all, we all healing from things. We're all going through things. You feel me? We all going through things. Some of us didn't have families growing up. And now I understand when people come in, they spend more time with us than they do with their family. How is that even possible? It's because they get more emotional support here. Because your family tell you, I don't believe in you, I don't know what you're going to do. You got to figure it out. Don't do that thing. Here, we like, man, go get it. Do you. You own your today. We pop your stuff. It's the emotional support. So if I'm not loving on somebody today, then I'm not doing my roll in new levels, no doubles. So we gotta look at this different. Man, we gotta say, man, how many people did I love on today? Man, you know, it's so crazy. I got a call 3 months ago. I can't make this up. Oh, this is so bad. My man's, I got a guy that we had a good relationship, but for so often he always just disappears and comes back, disappears, comes back. He had called me one night. It was about 11:30. And I had did some trainings. I was speaking. I was tired. And I literally watched the phone ring. I said, hey, I gotta hit him back in the morning. I'm worn out. I called him back in the morning. And when he picked up the phone, he started crying. And I'm like, what's going on, bro? You good? He said, yeah, man. I'm glad I talked to you because no cap, I was going to take myself out. Bro, like that almost put me like, first off, see, sometimes when you don't pick up the phone, God may have needed you to save somebody's life right there. That 11:30, when I looked at it, I said, man, I'm just too tired. God that sent his whole son to die for us. And I said, man, I'm just too tired. Called him back that morning. And because of that phone call, he decided not to take his life. And I said, damn. You'll be surprised who needs a more emotional support than you'll believe. You know why these celebrities going crazy? You know, see, when we chase the money, all about that bag, and you know, people, man, I gotta get the money, I gotta get the bag. You know, as most rich people need the most emotional support. Man, I know a lot of broke people living their best life. But you notice a lot of rich people, you think they got their life together? You know what good? Some people get good at carrying a load. See, the reason why it don't look heavy is because they got good at carrying it. Right now, like, you may be a leader and you can't really stand up straight because you're getting good at carrying a load that you shouldn't be carrying. So a lot of times we mask things, right, to look a certain way. And actually, that takes more energy to fake it. It takes more energy to fake it when you just let it go, because the people in your life are actually there to serve you. They actually there to carry the load. Why else would they be in your life? So you know what you're doing? You're dishonoring God because you're dishonoring the people that's been sent to carry your load. Yeah, you're thinking about the messenger, but you know the messenger comes from the messenger. I mean, the message comes from, you feel me? The messenger comes from God. You feel me? So you got to be clear that, hey, I need to be humble. I got to be humble first. That means I can't expect my leaders to talk about stuff that I'm not going to talk about. And that was hard for a lot of us. I know it is. I can't expect my leaders to talk about some things I'm not going to talk about. So I got to lead and I got to open up for vulnerability. You know why? Because I can't serve them unless I know them. Somebody asked me the other day, man, how do I become a better leader? You got to become a better listener. You got to become a better listener. Are you with me? Because I got to learn people to lead people. I got to get to know them. I got to know what really interests them. It's not about what I want them to do. It's what they want to do for themselves. And it's going to show regardless. I got to love on people to let people be them. But then I also got to know some people get love and not everybody get access. I know who's going to play with this. But then I know who's not playing with this. Are you with me? So you got to know right now, who's serious about, am I serious about building this business? Am I serious about being humble? And I'm putting the collective together. Am I doing everything for the collective? Because when one person wins, we all win. When one person wins, we all win. It's always that first person that get on and then put the whole team on. It's just a lot of times in our community, everybody wants to be that first person. But everybody just got to play their role. You feel me? Because it's about to happen in our community. Right? It's just going to take a lot of love. It's going to take a lot of emotional support, the empathy, the accountability. You really checking on people, making sure people good. Right? So we want the type of organization, we want the type of community where it's family first. It's loyalty over royalty. Like we're gonna ride with each other. Right? We're gonna make sure we good. I'm telling you. It's just gonna get gooder. So guys, I just want to talk about phone work today. Right? I just want to make sure you guys know the importance of calling your team every day. Right? Mentees, mentors. This is something we develop. This is a skill set. Developing relationships. Making sure you got your team goals. Making sure you there to support them. Making sure they're in a position of success. So guys, if you got some value from this call today, drop some 7s in the chat box. Let me make sure everybody's good. I hope this made sense today. Just drop some 7s in the chat box. Let me know you guys are good. I just want to thank you guys for hopping on. Now listen, guys, family, what do we do? Today at 5 o'clock, we got our foundation call. Right? See, once you master that foundation, you can really build to the sky when you got your foundation together. So you got to get on that call. You got to listen. But here's what I want you to do, guys. Because it's going to take a community. We all have to promote the cause. All right? Because different people got to see other people see value in it. If you only see the leaders promoting the cause, then that becomes, well, that's what they got to do. No, we don't got to. But we need your help to raise awareness. Every text counts. Every phone call matters. All right, plugging our team in because our vision is 5,000 students. Right? And it's done already. It's been written. Right? So happy and grateful. So guys, as we close out today, all right, it's already written. So happy and grateful now that 5,000 new people are trading, investing, and educated in the world's financial markets and new levels, no devils by December 31st, 2021. All right? It's already written. So guys, listen, I love you guys, right? Let's go ahead and let's charge the day. Let's have an amazing day. Let's do our phone work. I love you guys. You guys have an amazing one. I'll see you guys back in the group chat.